do. Do 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 do. All right. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We're taking a look here. Looks like everything is running. All right. Let's close this down, try and save some resources. We are definitely not going to be able to run and stream this game and keep a web browser up. My little 8 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM is not going to do that. But it looks like everything seems to be running okay. We've got a little bit of rendering and encoding lag here. But hopefully that doesn't cause too much of a problem. But everything else seems fine. Network seems fine. Everything seems good. So let's get into it. Today, oh shit, there's no fucking game on screen. I was gonna do something else. Here we go. There we go. Now we got a thing on screen. Holy shnikes, dude. Sometimes I'm a dum-dum. But we're good to go now. All right. So today we're going to be playing an alpha release of a new game called Reborn. It's currently in like an open alpha test. I guess like just yesterday they started really advertising and opened it up to content creation and stuff like that. I was lucky enough to find the game over on Reddit. And so, yeah, I hopped in and then I played 13 hours yesterday. Which is a little much. So I had a really good time. The game is really fun. It's sort of like an auto chess slash Slay the Spire kind of a thing going on. It's a PvE game. We have a leaderboard over here showing what floor you get to. So I'm actually number 36 right now because I'm a boss. But yeah, so let's jump in. Let's get a game started and let's see what happens here. So the first thing you do, it's a draft, kind of like auto chess. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick myself a character. Just like in auto chess, you've got some different classes. Now, these classes don't have inherent bonuses. Like when you get multiple of them, they don't all get better. But there are different situations where the different classes might benefit each other. So you will sometimes see things connect through their class types, but those class types don't intrinsically have some sort of bonus to each other. So let's see here. We've got a Vanguard tank, we've got a Mystic, and we've got a Warrior. Rowan is a character I haven't actually played a whole lot, but Vanguard tank is pretty right up my alley, right? Lots of HP. This is his skill here. So he's got a regeneration effect. Now, they have a super duper cool mechanic in this game where you have stall effects and you have rush effects. So let's see if one of these has a rush effect. They don't. Okay. So what happens is when you have a stall effect, that effect doesn't happen until the number of seconds listed there has elapsed. So you've got stall 10. Well, actually, we can hit shift and see. So stall effects activate after X seconds have elapsed in the battle. So after 10 seconds, Rowan is going to start regenerating HP per second based on his maximum health and his defense stat. And so when we release shift, we see that it's going to be a total of 10 based on those two stats. And then if you have a rush effect triggers right at the start of the combat and then lasts for X amount of seconds. And so there's this really cool push pull of, doing things up front versus stalling the game out to get, more of your bonuses and, trying to coordinate those things to make really interesting builds. So we're going to get into it. I think I'm going to play Rowan. Now, this first one here, you basically can't lose, right? All you got to do is fight this little turtle. And then you'll see this is very auto chess or TFT. This is just a list of the stages you're going to be going through. So we kill the turtle. It gives us all of our data here, right? The total damage dealt, the total damage taken, and then the total shields and healing. And then we get, this is our currency. This is like our gold. So we're going to get 30 of these here shards. And then we're going to hit proceed. And now this is where the drafting really gets interesting. So you can see you've got 6 team slots down here. This is your team. You have your party, who are your active, right? They'll be out fighting. And then you have your reserve, which are 3 additional characters you can have that don't actually go out in the field and fight, but they can do stuff. They have bonuses that they can impart on everybody else. And then, so you'll see here, these are the characters you can draft. So we've got another Vanguard named Ming. We have a Mage Mystic named Aria. And then we have Reyna, who is a warrior. Now, these ranks correspond to how many copies of the heroes you've gotten. So C rank is 1 copy, B rank is 2, A rank is 3, and S rank is 4. And every time you get a copy and you rank it up, you get a new ability. And you're actually going to get to choose these abilities from a list of 3 or 4 that are brought up for you. And so we see here, Reyna has just her starting ability. But these B classes have their starting abilities as well as their bonus ability. And that's actually why Arya here has the Mystic, is she's gained the Mystic class through this secondary ability. And that's something that a lot of the characters can do, is they have abilities that actually give them those secondary classes. So there's, it gets really complicated really, really fast. Now on top of that, hey, what's up, Damien? How are you today? Now on top of that, you've got items, just like in your standard auto chesses. And then just like you do in most roguelites, you have relics, which sit up here in the top. They don't go on any specific character. They just go up here and they benefit your whole team. So, yeah, it gets really complicated, but after a couple of rounds, you'll kind of understand. And then once you really understand the game, this game is out of control good. Like, oh my God, how have I lived my life without this game? So the first thing we're going to want to do here is win with 2 or fewer heroes in play, earn 20 shards. So I can put this relic up there, right? I spend 10 shards, and as long as I only use 2 or fewer heroes, then I can actually win an extra 10 shards. So we're definitely going to do that. And then I actually really like Reyna. I think she's a really good character. So we're going to hit her up. And then we have a sale going on here for plus 200. So we're actually going to go ahead and grab that and put that on my little duder down here. So that should be good. We can re-roll. So you re-roll everything. This is a roguelite, or roguelike, actually. There's no meta progression, so it's a roguelike. But it's an auto battler. It's kind of like auto chess. But you can re-roll the shop here. So it rerolls the items as well as the relics as well as the heroes when you reroll the shop. So we're going to hit proceed here. And then you're going to see, and then this is that Slay the Spire, right? You get these options, you go down these different paths. So we can get a common attack speed item. We can get a small mana regen boost that's permanent, or we can get a couple of shards. We're going to go ahead and take the shards. Getting the item usually isn't that beneficial, I don't think, because the items are fairly cheap and you can only put them on one character. So like relics and permanent boosts and stuff like that are typically a little more important. But we're going to go ahead and put Reyna right up here with this dude. And we're going to go after it here. And then you'll see my dudes are just going to punch things. We can increase the speed here. We can go all the way up to 3x speeds. Eventually, your characters will start attacking so fast that it'll look like it's lagging really bad. It's not really lagging so much as it's skipping things because you're doing stuff too fast, I think is what ends up happening. But yeah, so we won that battle. We get our stat screen here. It tells us how everybody did. We get 25 shards. We won the battle with 2 or fewer players, so we got an additional 20 shards. So we're going to go in here. Now we have 51 shards, which is pretty huge. So we're going to be able to get some stuff in here. Let's see. We've got... I don't really want any of these characters. I'm not really a mage person. I might get the duelist, but that's really kind of counter to what I'm doing right now. So I think we're just going to re-roll this shop. I don't see any items that I really need. We're not using any stall. Well, I guess we do have one stall effect. And we could trigger those effects faster. Okay, that might actually be okay. Because this dude has a stall effect. And that's his regeneration effect. If we get this, then we can actually make that effect only take 8 seconds to trigger instead of 10. So we're going to go ahead and get that. And then we're going to keep our eyes out for some other good stall effects. Because if we're going to get that relic, right, if we're going to spend that 10 shards, then we want to get the most out of it that we can. Then we're going to go ahead and hit that reroll. Inflict 900 debuffs, gain 30 shards. We don't have anything that's debuffing right now. We have another tank. This tank poisons. I don't think I need 2 tanks. We've got some basic common items, but again, I don't really think that I need anything on this page. So we're going to go ahead and roll again. Now here, we have a rare item instead of a common. So this is just going to generally be better, right? We've got plus 10 crit, plus 25 attack. This goes on a warrior, which this person is. So it gets a bonus effect, which is going to stack these legacy stacks, which is going to give us a constantly increasing amount of attack power. So I think this is a really good item. We're definitely going to grab that and throw it on Reyna. And then, let's see, we've got another Vanguard. We've got another Vanguard. I don't think I need those. I think we're going to hit that reroll again. I'm actually pretty sad. I haven't seen any more Warriors. And I haven't seen any more copies of anybody I already have. Some really basic common items. Your heroes gain, so crit, and then you get attack speed and omnivamp. That's actually probably worth. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on. And now we have our option again. We can go to a regular encounter, or we can go to a challenge encounter. Now, my heroes aren't strong enough to do the challenge encounter. That's just something I know from experience. So we're going to go fight this regular encounter. Honestly, I might not even beat this. These encounters can get pretty hard. We're going to go back down to 2x speed because I kind of want to be able to see what's going on. But yeah. And this is what you're doing. So the game doesn't end. You'll see there's, I forget how many stages, it's 20 or 30 stages until you get to the final boss. But you're doing all of this, do a stage, and then go in and like buy, ooh, a copy of Reina. So you're doing all this stuff where you like fight a stage and then you go into the shop and then you fight a stage and then you go into the shop. And you're doing that to build up your team. And then once you kill the final boss, you go into this endless mode where you don't get to shop anymore and you just see how far your team can get based on what you've already gotten them, which is super cool. So we've got Reina here, so we get an opportunity to see how this goes. So what we do is we go ahead and we choose Reina, and now we're going to tier up to rank B instead of C. And then you'll see we've got all these options. So we can pick the Fury here, which is a rush 12. So that means it triggers right at the beginning of combat and lasts 12 seconds. And it says all of my warriors gain 1 crit and 1 omnivamp for each time you've triggered rush this game. So I've triggered 0 rushes so far, but this would be 1 rush trigger every single combat. So this is like an infinite scaling kind of a thing. And it'll even scale after we go into the endless mode. So this is a really good thing to have because you need those scalings. Dishonesty reminds me a little bit of Summoner's War, but with Slay the Spire mechanics added in. It is a little bit like that. Absolutely, yeah. It's all PvE. There's no PvP. And then also there's no meta progression. So you're not keeping the heroes after each run. You have to start all over again from 0. But yeah, absolutely. Summoner's War does have a little bit of that same. So Summoner's War, the skills and abilities and stuff follow pretty strict like rules. They all feel pretty consistent. There's not a lot of, I guess, imagination, in my opinion, that goes into them. The heroes in this game do some wildly different shit, and it's really cool. And then you also see this effect has backup. Now, I was confused when I first started because, so backup effects, we can't see it right now, but backup effects trigger when your hero is in the reserve slot, meaning they're not in the active team fighting. So this effect has backup, means it will trigger both in the main team and in the reserve. But if it just says backup up here, then that means it only triggers in the reserve. And that was pretty confusing for me when I first started. And then we can switch to a Vanguard. Reina gains 1 attack per 10 shields, and she has a max of 206 bonus attack. Reina's active ability shields her for 100%. So right now she only gets 50% of the damage she does as shield, but you can actually give her some more and then increase her attack damage. And then you can also gain the Duelist class, which will give you 20 attack speed, and then every 3 attacks you deal bonus damage and inflict a burn. Yeah, I was thinking more along the lines of copies of heroes, making your hero stronger. Similar to Summoner's Wars, where you go from 1 star to 6 star. And then you can like purple star. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever played like Team Fight Tactics or Auto Chess, Dota Auto Chess. But those games are really specifically where this specific level up mechanic comes from. Um, the roguelite type of this mechanic. And they're called auto chess games. Because the first one was called auto chess. But it has a lot of those same mechanics, but it is very similar. I'm sure originally the auto chess thing was sort of taken from Summoner's War and some of those other collector games. Absolutely. So I think we're going to pick the Fury. I think we're going to get this warrior effect. I probably should pick the Vanguard because I've got another Vanguard, but fuck it. Yeah, I suck at team fight tactics, if I'm being honest. I'm real bad. My older brother is basically masters every season though, because he's a fucking monster. All right, so then when we trigger rushes, we could also trigger some burns here. We don't have enough currency to buy that, but we might go ahead and freeze the shop so that we can get that. On attack, gain XP. When attacked, gain attack. We probably want that too. All right, then we'll freeze the shop so we can get this, and then we'll proceed. Smashed my phone last night playing Wild Rift. You shouldn't do that, studios. You shouldn't do that. Vanguards, no. Magic Tome, no. Just give me 10 shards. I have broken my fair share of keyboards, so I understand. I actually have a broken keyboard that I keep in my room, so when I feel the nerd rage coming on, I can go ahead and just smash an already broken keyboard instead of smashing my new one. Because I'm smart. I'm a thinker. All right, nice. So we got through that one. We lost our hero. So this is another mechanic. There's so many mechanics in this game. But when you lose your hero, there's this little red heart right up here. And that's like a broken heart. If I let him get killed in a combat again, then he'll get what's called banished, which means he'll be removed from the game. And I'll have to revive him at a campfire, or like buy him again. So we have to be careful. Now you can get rid of this red heart if you put them in the reserve for one round and win that round. Then they actually they get that heart taken away and you're good to go again, which is another use of the reserves. My poor computer. I ask so much of it, and I give it so little in return. Okay, so last round we froze our shop so that we could buy this. So everything is the same here. We don't really want any of the rest of this stuff. I'm gonna hit the reroll just to see what we get. Doesn't really look like. We could get a warrior tank here. We've got, it's on sale. That's another warrior. This character doesn't have an image right now. But it will eventually. Like I said, this is an alpha version of this game, which is fucking crazy because it's so good. You can also play this game. So in the description of this video, there's a link to their Discord. And you can go to the Discord to get a key for the Steam. There's not actually a Steam page, but you do get your key and download the game through Steam. But yeah, so you can just play this right now if you'd like. Let's see. We can't sell that guy to get enough. We could freeze this, and we could take Kai and probably get rid of this guy. And then... I kind of want to... Let's sell this, and let's buy this. So this is a rush effect that says every 3 seconds, or every second, inflict 3 burns on all the enemies. But this is an effect that says when a rush triggers, inflict 15 burns on all enemies. So that's a rush. This is a rush trigger, and this is a rush trigger. So now I'm going to be doing 2 rush triggers every start of every round. So I'm going to be triggering 30 burns right off the bat, and then 3 more burns every second for 10 seconds, which is really cool. So we definitely want that. And then I think I am going to go ahead and freeze, because I am going to want this guy. And then we're going to proceed here. Now we have another little... Another little like event here, which is cool. So a hero of your choice rips a common relic from its core and permanently loses some stats. You'll gain Divergence Vessel Quest, win a fight with 3 or more heroes that do not share a class, gain 20 shards. We don't want that because I already have heroes that share classes. And then grab the shards you can see, so we can start off stunned during the next combat, and we can get 30 shards right now. Or we could take the coward's way out, and we can just get 5 shards and have no negative consequences. We're going to grab 30 shards, and then we're going to proceed here. We're probably going to lose this fight, but you get to lose 1 fight every match. So we'll see. Alright, we came unfrozen here. We're unstunned. Reyna is really strong, so she might, because she's got all those shields, she might pull this out. All these burns are also really helping us out, killing these backline characters. Yeah, there we go. Good job, Reyna. Oh, shit. Rowan was banished. Whoops. I explained to you all that that was going to happen, and then I fucked up. But that's okay. I didn't really want Rowan anymore anyway. I would have liked to have been able to sell him for 7 shards, but whatever. Alright, let's grab Kai, and then let's get this tank shield thing. Actually, I don't have a stall effect. Never mind. Oh, never mind. He does have a stall effect. Okay. So if we look in here on stall trigger, if a tank is holding this, it gains a legacy stack. And then on combat start, this item gives +2 defense per legacy stack. So we're going to go ahead and throw that on Rowan. That's really powerful. Now, Niklas can be a Vanguard warrior, but his little skill thing makes him eat items. So if you don't get him super early, he doesn't gain nearly as much value. So we're probably not going to use him. We'll hit ourselves a reroll here. The golden helmet, gain 3 shards. That feels pretty important. And then we've got another rush effect here. let's get the rush effect. The golden helmet, we can probably not get. I'm kind of on the fence. I could maybe sell this to buy the golden helmet to help me get more shards. And I think I might want to. I don't want to freeze just for that one item. So I think we're going to do that. And then we'll go ahead and proceed. And we'll go to our first campfire. So our campfires give us some cool stuff. Unfortunately, we can't level up a hero. I should have known. I should have grabbed a C tier hero. Whoops. We can re-roll a modifier. We can boost the base stats, like the class stat of a character. Or we can return a banished hero. So we could get Rowan back, but I don't want to do that. So we're going to boost one of our characters here. We're going to boost our Reyna with 25 base attack. That feels really good. And then we move in, and this is the first boss here. So we've got our little tank duder, and you're going to see, we're going to trigger 3 rush effects right at the beginning. So this guy's going to take 45 burns right out of the gate here, which is going to be fun. And then he's starting to take 3 burns a second. And now we're triggering some stall effects. So our hero is gaining some shields and stuff. I think my Kai is going to die here, probably. Yep. But I think Reyna's going to have enough to actually get this fight done. Kai did really well there. But yeah, boss defeated. All right. So once you defeat a boss, you get a huge amount of shards, and you're going to see on this next one, we get like a special shop, right? We get 4 items, we get 2 relics, we get higher tier items and relics, and then we also get higher tier characters. Our rerolls cost more, and there's no ability to freeze this shop. So the more currency, honestly, that you can save up to this point, the better off you are. Now here's an interesting one. This is a ranged assassin that has the warrior added to it. That gives it bonus range and causes it to always attack the furthest away thing. And again, so this is what I'm talking about, right? Each of these characters is so different. My mute button is losing its mind. We might just have to turn the mute button off. I don't really want to do that, because if I got to clear my throat or something, I don't want to do it into the mic. But it doesn't seem... It seems like all of my computer resources are sort of being consumed by the game. By the game and by the stream, so we might just have to deal with that. Yeah, so if you can get a lot of shards by the time you get to one of these bosses, especially by the time you get to the final boss, because you get one last big shop after the final boss, then you can get a lot of cool stuff going on. So let's take a look at what we've got here. Vanguards gain HP. We don't really have any Vanguards now. On shards generated, deal 1,000 damage to all enemies. That's actually a pretty cool one. I'm not generating any shards with any of my players, so we're probably not going to use that. I think we are going to go ahead and buy this assassin warrior. He's pretty cool. We have this here, which says the equipped hero's rush abilities last 2 seconds longer. So I could put this on like this hero and increase the duration of this rush to 14 seconds, which would be cool. We've got epic ice coating. I don't really need that. I don't think I really need any of the rest of this stuff. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and re-roll this shop. Let's see here. We have another assassin. Let's see if this assassin has any backups. It doesn't. Bummer. Mages inflict more damage, so this is a backup skill as well. So we could put this person in reserve. I don't have any other mages, so it doesn't really matter, but that's fine. Here's one. Your vanguards and warriors gain 1 attack per 3 shards and 1 omnivamp per 15 shards you've generated. Now, I haven't generated very many shards, so this probably isn't very valuable. It's definitely not worth 25 shards to me right now. But that's a very interesting little thing to have as a backup. We've got adaptive swords, which is just a mix of all kinds of different bonuses. Omnivamp, which gives our people life leech. These are just commons. We don't care about those. Whenever an enemy takes 50 or more poison damage, they also take damage equal to 2% of their max health. We're not poisoning. And then on combat start, this relic gains a legacy stack. You and your heroes gain 6 magic per legacy stack. We're playing all warriors right now. So magic probably isn't really a big deal. So not much point in getting that. We're going to hit the reroll again. That's really too bad. Mystic tank. No backups. Venom coating. Not really something I want. Apply debuffs. Increase your team size. So I could increase this to where I could have another party member. But I'd have to do 2,500 debuffs, which is like poison, burn, freeze, different stuff like that, which I don't have right now. Backline quickener. So if we put heroes in the backline, we could make them attack faster. We actually definitely want that for our assassin warrior. Yeah. And then I think we're going to go ahead and proceed. I've got 20 more shards, but if I hit this reroll again, I'll be down to 10, and then I just won't be able to buy anything. And then this shop will go away, so there's just no point. We don't want to deal with that. Yeah, so now we've got our duder in the back here. The further away he shoots from, the more damage he does. You'll see 5% attack, 5% crit per hex away from the target. So he'll start off by shooting the Mushroom Frost Mage, and he's going to hit him from super far and do good damage. And then I'm going to start Reyna back here because she just has to start in the back line to get this bonus. So she's going to take a little while to run up, but that's fine. So we're going to trigger that, and you'll see this dude is just pummeling that dude. Going to take him down. And then he's going to start getting all these backline dudes, which is really nice. So if we can increase his attack speed, we can get some good stuff going. Now Kai died again, which is a little unfortunate. Heck, Reyna almost died too. So he's got that red heart now. So if I don't take him out, we could run into a problem. Here's a good shard generation. I actually really like Tilly. She's pretty good. So we might actually go ahead and pick her up. Now we have a reserve character. Now Tilly, naturally, as part of her regular item, or as part of her regular skill, she gets a bonus item. Because she's normally a warrior duelist. She starts out as a duel character. And then this is the thing that was picked. I don't really like this one, but that's fine. So when we get into the fight, I'm actually going to swap these characters out. And then, let's see, we don't want that. We could use another one of these tank shields on our tank here. Yeah, so let's get a tank shield and let's get this. Right, 100 max HP, 15 defense to the hero in the front. And then we're going to proceed. We're actually going to go ahead and move all of these items over to Tilly because she's going to take his place. We're going to proceed. We can get a rare defense item. We can get a medium attack bonus. So we can give any one of our heroes a permanent 25 attack, or we can get 8 shards. We're going to go for the attack bonus. I'm actually going to put it on my dude or in the back here. Just for fun. And then we're going to take Tilly, and she's going to take over this dude's spot. And we're going to hit that fight. Oh, that's right. I forgot about these lizards. Oh, no. Well, that sucks. I think we're probably still going to be okay. Reyna's still, like, our strongest player. So we're good. But... and then you only have so long. After 45 seconds or 50 seconds, this storm comes and starts doing damage to everything. And then, honestly, you can win just by outlasting the storm. But it only goes so far. So let's see here. Merchant scroll. Earn shards, no. If your team contains a vanguard, no, we're definitely re-rolling that. Ooh. Nope. Not the ones that I want. We don't need a magic glyph. We don't need frost. This relic gains legacy, gives crit. We definitely want that. Let's hit another refresh. Sure, let's give everybody 10 HP per second. That wasn't really great. I don't think we can take on the challenge encounter again. We're actually pretty weak this round, just in general. We want to go ahead and swap that dude out. All right. We didn't want our duder to die there. We're having to do a lot of swapping, honestly. It's a little crazy. Oh no, Reyna's gonna die. Oh no, I'm gonna lose. Oh no. Well, that's good to see. So there used to be a green heart right up here. It's gonna be gray now. And that's our shard stabilizer. So you get 1 loss. And I'm going to actually have to refight that battle. But it gives me shards. It accumulates 5 shards every combat you go through until you die. So you get this 55 shard bonus here. So I'm going to be able to go into the shop now. And I'm going to be able to see I have 70 shards. Because I gained all those bonuses. None of this stuff looks useful. So we're going to go ahead and refresh. None of this is really useful. On hero crit, heal 50 HP, gain 4 mana. Mana is what you use to trigger your active abilities, but healing for 50 is pretty massive there, so we're going to take that. The equipped hero's rush ability lasts 2 seconds longer. Cool. Let's go ahead and put that on our Reyna here. And then we'll hit another refresh. Ooh, Logan. Logan is a good one, and he's got the rush ability that gives a bonus based on how many rushes we've had. So we actually really want Logan. He's a really good one. And then each hero's first attack on each enemy gains 100 crit. That's not a great one, but it's on sale. So I'm going to get it for cheap. That's my last 7 shards. That worked out really well. And then we're going to proceed. So I want to put Logan in here. I think I want Logan in for that guy. And then I actually think I'm going to put all 3 of my people on the back line here. Can I please? Thank you. And so they're all going to get those bonuses to attack speed. And then, yeah, we'll just send them out there. Between the bonuses that I'm getting to warriors from Logan and Reyna, I actually feel really good about this team now because those 2 bonuses stack really well. I may be taking Tilly out and putting the archer back in because he'll stack really well with those 2 bonuses. So that's interesting. Win a combat with 50 or more shards in your bank, gain 20 base stats. Yeah, I don't really like that. Inflict Frost. Because this one's on sale, we're going to go ahead and use this. Because Frost, if we hold shift, characters lose 5 defense and 5 attack speed per Frost stack, which is huge for my warriors. So we're going to hit that. We don't need the rest of that stuff. So we're going to go ahead. Ooh. Ooh. Look at that. A Tilly and a Kai. Interesting. So we can get something up to rank A here. We might end up freezing and coming back to this. Because your characters, as they rank up, they get more base stats. You can see a rank up for a hero or a warrior gets attack, crit, and max HP. A rank up for a duelist gets attack, speed, attack, and crit. So Tilly can get a lot of power there. Yeah, let's go ahead and level. Yo, what's up, Master of Light? Let's go ahead and upgrade Tilly. And then let's see what we get here. We can gain 1 attack per 10 shields. We can gain an attack speed per 3 debuffs on the enemy. If this hero is adjacent to exactly 1 other hero, they both permanently gain 8 attack speed. That's crazy. Or your rush effects last 3 seconds longer. This effect has backup. So we could put her in the reserve and get a bonus out of her. I want to respec this pirouette. Let's get this attack speed one. And we're going to put her right next to one of the other players. And we're going to start stacking their attack speed. Then we're going to go ahead and freeze this shop. And we're going to go into another little thing here, tactical advice. We can re-roll a modifier. This is exactly what I want. So we're going to re-roll Tilly's modifier because I don't want this pirouette. So we're going to re-roll that and we're going to see what we can get. Ooh, here we go. So this effect can have backup. Rush 15. Your warriors gain 33% attack, 33% crit. This effect has backup. And then we also get a stall effect, so that triggers immediately after, where our duelists gain the same sort of bonuses. I don't really need the duelist effect, but this rush effect for warriors is really valuable because it has backup. So, yeah, let's do that. And then we're going to proceed. And so now we're triggering a ton. We're going to go ahead and move. Actually, I kind of like him more right now. So now we're going to set this up. Tilly and my warrior are going to gain 8 attack speed every round. And then they're going to be triggering. Each of these has a rush. So you'll see this one gets more powerful every time I do a rush. And I'm going to be doing 3 rushes, 4 rushes every combat now. So this is going to stack really, really quickly and forever, which is really good. So we're going to hit that fight button, and we're just going to get after it here. And you see my characters are starting to attack much, much faster and be much, much more effective. It looks like we're going to lose Oh, I hope Logan didn't have... Oops, sneeze. Logan was banished. Okay, I'm a dumb piece of crap. Whoops. That was, okay, well, that one's done. We're starting over. Hey, we could start with Tilly. That could be fun. Yeah, I was spending too much time explaining, and then I was forgetting things in between. Your power flickered when I sneezed? That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I put a smell on you. Or spell on you. Oh, when you said what's up. Oh, okay. I don't know why I said I put a smell on you. I meant to say spell. Ooh, I didn't know that he has a Vanguard. Gain 200 max HP. Rush. Your assassins and vanguards gain Omnivamp. Crit. Per shard you've generated. On kill, gain 4 shards. That's interesting. Reminds you of Raid Shadow Legends. It is a little like that, except it's not a pay-to-win pile of garbage. It's just a roguelite, or roguelike. Yeah, it is very much like TFT. Absolutely. It's a lot like if TFT and Slay the Spire sort of mashed into one game, is kind of how I've been thinking about it. This game is way more creative than TFT. Because it's got these stall and rush mechanics. It's really, really good. There is another game a lot like this. Yeah, what's it called? I had never seen a game like this before. The Last Flame. Interesting. I'll have to look into it. Because I'm having so much fun playing this game right now. It is phenomenal. I am so impressed. You know what? Let's grab this Dragomir and let's hit up this assassin bonus. Oh, I can't. Could I maybe sell Tilly? Let's sell Tilly. And then do that. I dig it. Ooh, and then we can get a little attack bonus here. Nice. So every time this ability actually kills the person, I get shards, which is pretty important. Shards are super important. If you can generate shards, there we go. So we got 8 shards out of that fight. But then if we look over here, he's got another benefit that says for every time I generate a shard, I gain Omnivamp, crit, all that stuff. So this is actually going to end up going really well. The Last Flame is a roguelike auto battler which focuses on build creation, strategy, and decision making. Everyone will create amazing builds to progress through this ascension difficulties or attempt to beat your high score in the endless mode. Recruit special heroes, fight deadly encounters, loot and craft powerful gear, discover and create unique synergistic build. Interesting. Yeah, so this is the same. It's got the endless mode at the end. It's got a bunch of stuff like that. I didn't realize there was another game out there that had the same sort of format. I'm going to have to look into that after I get done with stream today. Ooh, on combat victory, gains 6 shards. Hell yeah. Who else generates? It's more like monsters than just humans. That's cool. Let's see. Let's hit the shop. I kind of want this. Except I don't have any rush effects. Oh, I do. I definitely want that. We're going to freeze. And we're going to go here. And then we're going to go to a regular encounter. I've just got the one person. We're not going to gain shards off of this slime. But we hopefully will gain shards off of one of the others. We might lose, honestly. Alright, we gained some shards. We're probably not going to gain shards off of this dude. Probably just going to kill him. That's too bad. We only gained 4 shards that time. That is a bummer. But we're going to get that item that we want. And then we're going to re-roll the shop. Ooh, a tank assassin. I like this character, but... Actually, we might go ahead and rock. Because she gets a bonus when she's on backup for all assassins that give defense and magic. So we probably want that. And then let's re-roll that shop one more time. We've got the Warrior's Axe. And inflict 100 poisons. We're not poisoning. Whenever a hero inflicts burn, we're not burning. Okay, let's just proceed here. Get a tank item. Or get a duelist item. Or get 10 shards. I don't need the mana regen because my tank isn't casting and active. So getting this really wouldn't be that valuable. So we'll just take the 10 shards. And then we're going to put our tank up here right in the front. She's probably going to get killed, but that's okay. Her goal is just to stack this up as much as she can. And then keep my dragon mirror from getting killed. Hopefully. I think I'm going to die again. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to lose. Oh no, I didn't die last time. That's right. I still might lose. Let's see. We're going to get the kill here. Get some shards. Nice. Hey, we made it. we made it. Front row gained some stuff. Okay, here's a good item for my little hero. And then we'll go ahead and reset. Ooh, an A rank. I really like this person too. It's got an active taunt. It deals poisons when things attack it. Ooh. I definitely want to buy this, dude. And then I want to put this on him. And then I'll probably just move her to the reserve because she's got a little bit of bonus here until I get something better to put down in there. We're going to go ahead and proceed. We'll go to the Burning Forge. Whoops. So at the start of the next fight, you have a burn, and then you get this item, which is a Vanguard item. Don't care about that. So we'll get a random common item. Even if we don't use the random common item, we may find value. Actually, I like that item for Mr. Tanky Boy here. Nope. Sometimes the items can be a little hard to get where they're going. The UI here is a little meh. There definitely needs to be some work done on it, but that's okay. Yeah, now we've got our duder up there in front, and so he shields himself and taunts everybody. So he's probably the best tank in the whole game. And you'll see now things are starting to poison. So every time something attacks this tank, it gets poisoned, which is crazy strong. So he's just going to be standing up in the front there, just crushing it. Trigger stalls, get more stall effects. That's nice. Ooh, we can level up my other tank. I'm leaving her in right now because she's stacking this up. So I might go ahead and get this. Your heroes gain crit equal to the number of shards in your bank. That's interesting. Ring of the Leech, gain crit. Restore HP per second per poison. I like that. Oh, don't have enough gold. Don't have enough gold for anything. We're going to freeze that. Because I want that and I want to level up my little lady there. Reroll a modifier, give a hero a boost to their stats, or rank up a character. So we're going to get to rank up this character. On attack, inflict a poison. Zori restores 1 HP per second per poison on adjacent enemies. Yeah, we're definitely going to rock that. And then bammo. So now we're inflicting lots of poisons. Zuri's inflicting poisons. Scorn's inflicting poisons. I'm pretty happy with that. And then Zuri's leveling up my magic. And but you'll see this says just backup. It doesn't say this ability has backup, which means it only works when she's in the reserve, at least that part of it. If I wanted to try it, do I need to download it? Yes. So in order to try the game, you have to go to their Discord and get a Steam key from their little Steam key bot. You have to make it so that you can get DMs from somebody who shares a server with you, at least temporarily, to get your key. But yeah, the Discord link is in my description, and you can just pop over there and get a Steam key. It's a lot like the Discord for Roamstead over there. You know, the devs and stuff are in there. They're taking feedback. They've got their community manager or whatever chilling. It's a pretty cool little spot. Let's see, trigger rush. Attack speed and crit. Ooh. I think I want this for my duder. And then I think I want this Ring of the Leech for her. And then we'll re-roll the shop. Then we'll put this on this dude. Ooh, Fiona. She doesn't have the bonuses that I want, but I might be able. Darn, I can't buy that. Never mind. Let's sell that and get that. Okay. And fight. Well, look at all that. So good. Ooh, Dragonmere almost died. All right, and so now this is the shop that we froze before. Now that we've beat something after the boss, we actually get our frozen thing back. Oh, so now we can level up Zuri again, which is awesome. When she's attacked, she can gain 1 defense. On the start of combat, she can gain 1 crit for every 2 shards in your bank. On every other crit, she can permanently gain an attack and a magic. Or on combat, if this hero's in the front row, they gain defense. Let's do permanent attack and magic. Right? Because magic increases the number of poisons she can do. Or fuck it. Let's do it. And then we've got another Ring of the Leech, which I'm a little bit tempted to sell this and buy that Ring of the Leech. If I'm being honest. That's fine. Rare defense item, medium attack speed bonus, pile of shards. I don't think anybody really needs an attack speed bonus. I think we'll just go with a pile of shards. And fight. And we're just gonna poison everything. A whole lot. My assassin is ending up in a pretty weird place here. And I don't actually think I want the assassin anymore. Ooh, on trigger stall, gain a shard. Hell yeah. As good as he is. Oh, he has backup. That's right. So I can keep him. I can get Omnivamp for this character. We might go ahead and snag Fiona here. I'm not really liking the build this time. I don't really feel like it's going really well. But we'll keep doing it. Hey, there's another... Ooh. And he's on sale. Ooh, and I have exactly 18. Interesting. Rush effects lasts 3 seconds longer. Gain 20 crit, 20 Omnivamp. Combat start. Give this hero and adjacent heroes maximum HP. On combat start, give all heroes in the same... I kind of want to rock this 20 crit, 20 Omnivamp. We're going to let this dude keep building up stacks for now. Let's try the challenge encounter. Because we have such a strong tank in the front, we can give this challenge encounter a try. Then we're going to go all the way over here with this dude. Oh no, he's got to be alone in the front row. And we'll see if we can maybe attack this back row. No, oh, he got pulled, okay. So this dude's going to taunt. There we go. Oh, we're getting a little... Things are starting to happen too fast. I'm starting to get a little lag in. Too many numbers going up and stuff like that. But we can slow it back down. Smooth it back out here. It's going to make things take longer. But I'm okay with that. Hey, what's up, Cristocho? This game is fun as hell. I found it yesterday, and I now have 13 hours of playtime in the game. So, if that's any indicator for you. Ooh, rush for 3 seconds. Your heroes are immune to damage. Inflict burns. Give things stats. Perfect. Ooh, a duelist and an assassin. Probably not. Well, it could be what I'm looking for.
Your guild could use someone fast. I'm in.
We could... Yeah, I think I've got some pretty decent stuff going here. So this person is going to benefit my assassins. And this person is going to benefit my assassin and my tank. Right? Yeah. With defense and magic. So I'm going to swap these two out at some point for these two. And it's going to be real strong. Attack speed Omnivamp. 1 attack per 4 shards. We can snag that up. Put that right there. Eventually, this will go on Nyx. but not right this moment. Join a guild. We're gonna get an assassin relic. Ooh, whenever assassins crit, they permanently gain an attack and magic. Your assassins gain 1 attack and 1 magic per shard generated. Yeah, let's go with that. Hell yeah. Alright, and then we hit that fight button. Our Scorn died last time. We gotta be careful. If Scorn goes down again, we lose him, which would be bad. I don't think it's gonna happen. Scorn is pretty beefy. Let's go back up to the 2 attack here. Yeah, you see, things are just happening too fast. And so the game gets a little jittery. We could even get real crazy with it. We go all the way up to 3. And stuff is just going to happen and you're not going to be able to see like 90% of it. And then all the enemies are just dead. It's pretty funny. Mana Siphon. No. No. Nope. Reroll. Inflict burns. No. Reroll. Inflict 200 poisons. On poison inflicted, gain magic and attack. Sure. Some Spellblade action. This would go well on this person, but I'm not going to keep him in the active team. So I don't want to do that. All right, you found a friendly fairy. She'd love to make a wish come true for you, so long as that wish is for an item which benefits heroes of a specific class. So let's get an assassin item, because most of my heroes are assassins. We get an assassin's tomb, or tome. Crit magic, if equipped to an assassin, grant them double stats. He actually benefits from magic more. And so let's go ahead and, you know what? I need to put, here we go. Let's put some of these items on here. Yeah, but I need to put him in the back row for a second so he can heal up. Because I don't want to lose my good tank. As soon as we can get these mushrooms down, we'll be good to go. But it's pretty tough to kill these mushrooms. Nice. Good deal. Oh, we reached the final boss. So once we're about to fight the final boss, we lose our shard stabilizer and we just get all the shards for it. So we gained 70 there. So we're going to go ahead and proceed here. And now, so we've got a ton of shards. We can spend them right now to make ourselves strong enough to fight the boss. But I actually think we're going to be able to beat the boss. And then after that, we get the big boss shop. So I think I'm actually going to save all 133 of these. We're going to go ahead and proceed here. We go to another campfire, which is a big deal. We can rank up a hero, or we can give a hero a boost to their class, or we can re-roll. I want to re-roll, and I want to re-roll Fiona, because she has a bonus that can happen here, where she can light things on fire. Whenever a hero with a shield is damaged, inflict 1 burn to the enemy. So I want that. instead of what she had before. And then I'm actually going to put her and Nyx in here. And so she's going to shield him. He's going to shield him. We need to put our items back up. What do we got here? Crit and magic. Sure. He's not an assassin. He's actually a... Oh, no, he is an assassin. That's right. We get some Omnivamp. Get some more Omnivamp. And then... sure, some of that. Actually... I definitely want this. Okay, there we go. Hopefully, I should be able to kill this dragon. We've got plenty of Omnivamp on Nyx, so she won't die to, like, AoE. She'll be able to heal. And then Fiona here is going to be rocking some good shields. She's going to be causing a lot of these burns. Scorn is causing a lot of poisons. And then Nyx is just going to kill this thing. Once it gets to 20%, I believe she executes. So, pretty strong. I'm not going to get super far here. Unfortunately. Your tanks and vanguards gain defense and HP. Nope. So now we need to start looking. We got 200 shards here. So we need to look for some stuff to make Fiona better. And maybe another backup character. Grace has some cool backup skills. And this is an S tier Grace. So Grace applies 100 shields to all allies and heals them for half of that amount at 15 seconds. Unfortunately, that's not a huge amount. Oh, it would be also plus 750%, so it'd be more than 100. That might end up being useful. But I don't really think so. No. I need some mana regen. Pretty bad for Fiona. Sorry, I had to cough there. Throat's a little dry. I don't really like any of this stuff I've got here. Ooh, rush 12. If an enemy would gain a debuff, they gain one more. Okay, I do like that. I'm not really generating shards, so that's not going to help. So let's hit the reroll here. We've got another assassin. Whenever an assassin crits, inflict 2 poisons. This ability has backup. Your rush effects last 3% or 3 seconds longer. This ability has backup. This is a really good Yuna as far as backups are concerned. So we're actually going to buy her. And that'll help a lot with Nyx being able to do some more stuff. So I like that. Inflict 25 poisons, 50 frosts, and 75 burns on a single enemy. I'm not doing any frosts, unfortunately. So we can't trigger that. Gain basic stats, no. Alright, let's reroll. Sure, let's get this one. And then let's go ahead and get some magic regen. We're actually going to sell that piece, I think. Let's reroll again. Trigger stall 25 times, increase your team size. That's interesting. So I could increase my team size twice here, and then put 2 of these, like, in here. We might go for that. Maybe we'll trigger it. Maybe we won't. We'll see. And then here's a bunch of mana regen. Need to put that on her. We can re-roll. We're probably not going to have enough to actually get anything if we re-roll, but worth a try anyway. Some starting mana and some regen. Okay. What's this? Let's do that. Let's put that on here. And then let's proceed. So this is the endless mode here. I'm never going to get to shop again. So now we're just trying to go as many rounds as we can. My record is 15, and I think the biggest record is 36. But I'm ranked like 30-something with my 15 record. So after about 10, shit gets to get really hard. So we're going to bring that battle speed down a little. And we're going to hit that fight button. And we're just going to kind of watch what happens here. My tank is going to look like he's kind of getting his butt kicked. Nope, he just is getting his butt kicked. He is not nearly as tanky as he normally is when I come in here. But I've got my lady here buffing him up. And he's also giving himself lots of shields. So every time something hits him, it's taking poison and burn, which is really nice. So that went okay. Wasn't great, if I'm being honest. Was not great. We haven't triggered either of our +1s. God, my throat is so dry. Not being able to use my mute button is aggravating me. Yeah, so we need to trigger another 1,000 debuffs. So if we survive this match, we'll be able to put in at least one more person, which will be interesting. We might not survive this match, though. These poisoners, these guys do a lot of damage. And I'm not... Yeah, no, we're going to lose here. This did not go well. That's too bad. Yeah, so we made it to round 1. You could see I'm rank 36. I was the last person, the most recent person, to get to floor 15. And that was sometime yesterday. So I'm surprised nobody else has hit that. But I can't see... I wish that I could check the rest of the leaderboard. Because I'd like to see... you know, where the highest person is. But we go ahead and quit, and we go back to the beginning, and we start a new game. And we get a whole new list of 3 people to start with. I think I want to start with Scorn this time. I really like Scorn. You all know how I like shields. And this dude's got 2 fucking shields. So I really like him. He's like my favorite character. And I actually, so they're doing a challenge right now on the Discord where the goal is to try and get as far as you can with only 1 hero. And I actually got all the way to 11 in the Endless. So the goal is just to beat the final boss with a single character. But I was able to get all the way to the 11th Endless fight before I finally crapped out. Let's see, stall 20, inflict poisons? Absolutely. So let's try it again. Let's do the thing. Let's just play 1 character and see how far we can get. We got a sail for 3 there. That's nice. That's a good item for him because it gives mana regen and defense. He needs the mana regen so he can trigger his taunt. And then we'll hit reroll. Bummer. The fact that I haven't gotten another Scorn is really going to be unfortunate for me. Let's get a common defense item. So beating this game with just one person is actually really rough if you don't get the second tier, the B tier, because this fight right here is pretty tough to get through without that boost in stats. But you can see now we're starting to get things going. We're hitting the poisons. So Scorn is one of the best when it comes to AoEing enemies because everything attacks him and he just does damage based on what's attacking him. So he's really good for AoEing things down. Let's see, what do we got here? Max health, the equipped hero is adjacent. Oh, and adjacent heroes get a shield. I like this item temporarily, but I don't know if I want to spend the currency on it because I might not end up using it. If your team contains a duelist, no. Hey, there it is. So we got ourselves another Scorn, so we can get our active ability. And we can. So the reason this active ability is so important is because it keeps giving us shield, right? Every time we trigger it, we get a shield based on how many stalls we've triggered, which is how many times basically we've triggered this effect here. So, very important. A really big deal for that character. Let's see. Magic, attack. That's not really a good item for him. Starting mana, not bad. Definitely more important than health. So let's go ahead and do some starting mana. And then let's just proceed. We're going to go to the challenge encounter. And this is where Scorn really starts to show off, is just by himself. Once he starts being able to shield himself, and once you get some mana regen and stuff going, then you can start to really, really do some good stuff with this character. Now, he's a stall character, and he doesn't do a ton of damage right away, right? There's a lot of ramp up time. And so later on, he just kind of loses. But building up, whenever a hero inflicts poison, they inflict 33% more poisons. This is a great one. Absolutely. Yeah, that's going to be huge for us. Start of combat, inflict poisons, frost, and burns. Absolutely. Goodness gracious. See, this is why I have a mute button. When I start talking a bunch, my throat gets dry. Let's bring the mute button back and see if maybe it'll work. All right, there we go. It seems to be working for right now. It might break again. You never know. But let's see. We don't really need these items. So let's reroll. Ooh. An A tier. On kill, gain 12 shards. Meh. I mean, that's a good one, but it's a rush, and I don't even know if I'll kill anything in the first 15 seconds. So, reroll again. Ooh, shop rerolls cost less. Because I'm doing just a solo run, shop rerolling is actually something I'm going to do a lot. So that's fine. Let's hit that reroll again. Mage glyph. I'm not a mage, so this doesn't give me quite as much benefit. But that 75 magic could be pretty good. I don't know. Probably not. Let's go ahead and just proceed here. Let's see. Tank buckler. If you're a tank, double the stats. That's absolutely worth. Nice. We're going to get rid of one of these Aegises and drop that tank buckler on there. And then we're going to beat the shit out of these guys. It's nice to be able to throw all of these things on top of them right here in the start. That definitely helps reduce early fight damage and stuff. And then we just do our thing, right? We're just applying poisons. And our character applies 3 poisons every time he's hit, plus 33% from our poison amplifier. So every time these things hit me, he's triggering 4 poisons on them. On every person who hits me, which is just massive. Troll vest. And, ooh, I like this. So that runic buckler is a pretty big deal because it allows me to get a shield right at the start, which is really important. And then that'll trigger our stall effects faster. That's nice. But that's really important for keeping us alive before we start triggering our ability. On stall trigger, give your heroes 10% max HP shield and 10 mana. Ooh. I definitely want this one. I don't have the currency for it, but we'll actually go ahead. We'll get rid of these 2 common items and we'll buy that. Because that's going to be a ton of shield and a ton of mana. Let's see how that works. Because I don't know if it's going to happen every time or if it's just one time per fight. Reroll a modifier, let's give myself permanent health. I didn't need to do that. The health isn't really a big deal for this character, but it'll be fine. And then we'll trigger this fight. And I just want to see, am I gaining lots of shield? Like, gaining over and over? Or am I just gaining shield when I trigger my skill? It seems like I might just be gaining shield when I trigger this skill. So this doesn't happen every time. I think it just happens one time. Which is too bad, because then I'd be invincible. Tanks and vanguards have plus 25% defense. Yes, please. We can re-roll for free here, so we might as well. For each tank on your team, that's not really worth the 20 to me. And I think we're good, so we're going to proceed. We're going to go to our first campfire here. And we're going to get a boost to our class stats, which means Scorn gets 30 defense. And now we're going to beat the shit out of this dragon. I really like running this game with just one hero. It's actually pretty entertaining to me. there are some interesting things that you can do with Scorn. If you just focus on one hero like this, and then allow yourself, when you have an opportunity, to use something else that's also really useful. Like Fiona and Scorn go together like peanut butter and jelly. Because she also shields, and then she can cause him to be triggering burns on top of those poisons whenever things do damage to him. And those burns scale really well because they're based on the amount of damage the enemies do to me. So they just end up being really valuable. Okay. None of this stuff really seems to be okay, actually. That's a pretty good item. We might get rid of that and throw that reflect on there. I think I'm going to keep this in case I get a good Fiona. Ooh, nice. Another Scorn so we can get up to rank A here. We're definitely hitting that. On combat start, if this... Nope. This hero gains 25% defense for each enemy targeting it. Or on stall trigger, gain 30 defense. I feel like this isn't gonna work for every stall. So I think maybe this 25% is where we want to be. And then, let's see. No. No. Do we want to hit another? No. Let's go ahead and proceed. So that was just the first boss even. And we're already rank A. I think we're going to be able to rank S our Scorn here, which is going to be pretty huge. But you can see my defense went up to 800 because I had so many people targeting me. Which was pretty cool. So I didn't take like any damage that time. That feels great. Nyx is also a possible bonus because she attacks real fast and does a lot of burn. So you can kind of throw her in and then he taunts and then she can just go burninate everything. Let's hit the reroll. Ooh, a lot of bees there. Nothing I want, but... Catalyst of Patience on stall trigger. Get a stack. Gain 1 defense and 1 magic per stack. That's so good for him. I think we'll probably go ahead and get rid of this to put that on there. And then hit that refresh again. We've got a regular Fiona. We're going to go ahead and grab the Fiona And we're going to go ahead and put this on her. And then we're going to hope for another Fiona. Because I want to level up just one time so I can trigger some burns. Apply shields. Your heroes gain magic and attack. Totally worth. Proceed. Maximum HP, rare attack item, pile of shards. And then we fight. Oh, Fiona's gonna get murked here. Because he's not gonna trigger his taunt. Maybe he's gonna trigger his taunt. Nice. Triggered his taunt fast enough. Fiona will be fine. But he's just getting to be a tanky boy. I love Scorn. He's so cool. There are so many of these characters already, or even now, that I haven't even, like, tried once. Like, none of the mages. I'm not really a mage person. So I haven't played any of the mages or anything. Your heroes in the front gain stuff, maybe. Yeah, we'll hit that. Reroll. Give me another Fiona. Ooh, mana regen, mana. She's a mystic. That's perfect. Reroll. Ooh. An S level mystic. So this guy is kind of interesting because he spends shards and then later you get twice as many back when he's in the reserve. I don't have a ton of rounds left. If I had the coins though, I might be willing to buy this dude, but I don't have the shards for it. He's really cool though. He's got some interesting stuff. I really like the mystics with Scorn. None of that stuff is really valuable. It doesn't really look like we've got anything going on here. We're definitely going to do the challenge encounter. 100% for sure. So we'll go ahead and fight. And we just have so much shielding now. And shortly, Fiona's going to get an effect where whenever the enemy loses shield, or the ally loses shield, then she'll trigger burns. So everything will have, 400 poisons and then like 600 or 700 burns, which will be cool. Your heroes gain 1,000 shield at different breakpoints. The first time an enemy reaches 75 frost stacks, stun them. So Scorn can do frost stacks. We might grab this because this doesn't really help. 1,000 shields isn't a ton. And then I don't have any mages. So I might grab that just in case we get to trigger some of that stuff with Scorn. Amulet of Winter. Frost with more frost. That's interesting. Not really valuable, I don't think. No. Hey, there's a Fiona. So this is the one that I'm about right here. Is this the Lustrous? So we're definitely going to take that. And now my Fiona will help me trigger burns, which is going to multiply my damage output. Combat start. This relic gains plus magic. So magic is going to help me two ways. Number one, Fiona will shield more. But number two, the other part of this reflect thing is that it deals a flat amount of damage as well based on this character's magic. So this is a really good relic. If I'd have gotten this earlier, that could have been great. But I didn't, unfortunately. And then we could just go ahead and proceed. We've got a Curse of the Kiss here. There's lots of fun little, like, random encounter things you can get in this game. All your heroes give a peck on the cheek. To the witch, you gain a rare relic. For each tank on your team, get 10 poison at the start of combat. Meh. And then choose a hero to permanently lose 15 defense. Your mystics gain 2 mana regen. I think I will happily let my Fiona lose 15 defense for 2 mana regen. I think that's totally worth. And then we proceed. And then fight. Ooh, Fiona's almost died there. Stupid ass lizards. As soon as he taunts, it's game over, right? Now you see we've got all these burns on all these enemies because they're doing damage to his shields. And it's all based on how much damage they do. For every 5 damage they do to my shield, they take 1 burn. So these slimes are pretty weak, they don't do a ton of damage. But enemies that hit harder take a lot more burns. Ooh, here we go. Gain some shards. Let's re-roll the shop. I might... Gosh, I kind of want to pick up this Nyx. But I haven't really invested into the Nyx. I could pick this up. So we've got 2 things here, right? We've got win a fight with 2 or fewer, and then we've got win a fight with 3 or more that don't share a class. So I kind of want to get both of these. And I think we're going to do it.
I'm in.
I'll probably take Nyx out for this next one. And then put him in. Well, maybe we'll put him in for this one and take him out for the next one. That's fine. Let's proceed. A guild invitation. Nice. Join the guild. We're going to get a tank relic. Whenever a tank is attacked, apply 2 frosts. See, so now this is going to pay dividends. Because now I can put 2 frosts every time I get attacked. So now I can start relying on that as well. And then Nyx is maybe going to die here. It'll depend on like AoEs and stuff like that. But hopefully she'll still count, right? And so I'll still get my bonus shards here. And then I'll take Nyx out, and then she'll refresh or revive or whatever. And then we'll be good to go. Yeah, doing tons of these frosts now. Feels real good. This will really help once we get to Endless. Our stabilizer got broken because that was the last fight before the boss. So then we proceed. We have... This is our last buy before the boss. I don't think I need to buy before I fight the boss. So we're going to save all these shards so that maybe we can get like some big shit at the boss here. We're going to go ahead and proceed. We go to another campfire. We have the ability to level up a rank B or lower. So we could level Fiona or Nyx. I think we're going to go ahead and level Nyx. And we're going to give Nyx this burn.
Try to keep up.
We're going to proceed there. We're going to take Nyx out of this fight. Oh, she doesn't have. Okay, well then she can stay in. And we're going to go fight the poison dragon. So a couple of things I need. I need some Omnivamp to protect Nyx from AoEs. Because right now she's having some trouble not dying. But if I can get some Omnivamp or some heal on crit or... there's lots of little stuff I can get for Nyx. when we go into this big boss buy here, then we're going to get pretty far. We are pretty powerful. We've got so much shields. We do. So, I mean, look at this. We got 1k burns and 400 poisons going on right now, which is massive. So let's see. Your heroes gain crit equal to 50% of the poison on their target. Okay, that's huge for Nyx. If I can get some crit healing on top of that, that'll be huge. Let's see. On attack, deal bonus damage equal to the amount of burn on the target. That's interesting. I don't want to put that on Nyx. We need another item, so another mystic thing will definitely help that out. Let's go ahead and put this burn thing on Nyx. And then we'll re-roll. Hey, we get another Nyx. So this is cool because, boom, on attack, inflict 3 more burns. Or every 12 attacks gain a shard, or attack speed. Ooh, I think attack speed. Yeah. That's real nice. What do we got here? Crit. Damage from the equipped hero executes enemies. Don't really need any of those. On stall trigger, the equipped hero gains defense and magic. I think I already have one of those. Although I can use the same one twice. Warrior's Glyph, Mage's Ring. Ooh. Your heroes gain 4 mana regen. Whenever a mystic applies a shield, damage the nearest enemy for 50% of that amount. That's pretty big. And then we don't have any rush effects. But we're definitely going to rock that. Because that's 4 mana regen for everybody. That's massive. Let's see. Does this dude have any backups that are good? No. What about you? You got any backups? Nope. Ooh, ice coating. On attack, inflict frost. On attacked, inflict frost. What can I maybe... I don't know if I want to inflict too many more frosts. Because that also slows down their attack speed, which slows down my ability to damage them. But that's kind of a good... More attack speed, more frosts. Let's buy it and see what happens. Reroll again. Ooh, Fiona can level up. There's some more regen. So let's get some regen. Let's level up Fiona. This hero applies 50% more shields on combat start. If it's in your reserve, your stall effects trigger 6 seconds faster. 1 mana regeneration per 25 debuffs on enemies. Wow. So triggering stall effects faster or getting mana regeneration. So that's either more shields or more poisons. I think I need the more shields. So let's do that. Oh, nope. It's just this character. Well, that's fine. She can get lots more shields. That wasn't quite what I really needed out of that, but that's fine. Unfortunately, Nyx didn't get any sort of bonus to like healing or whatever. Hopefully Fiona can maybe keep her alive because she's gonna get AoE'd down. Let's slow this thing down so we can actually kind of see what's going on. The amount of damages and stuff being output are pretty crazy. We've got a lot of burns, a lot of everything. But that went really well. I am thinking that this is going to work. Let's go all the way down to 1 here so we can actually see. Fiona has so much. She's keeping Nyx alive, just kind of off the power of her shielding, which is great. She's getting 40. Yeah, that's wild. She's just casting shields all over the place. This is going to go really well. And every round, Nyx is getting more attack speed, which means every round, Nyx is doing more burns, more frozens, more all that stuff. So she's going to be causing, you know, these slimes to like get stunned and stuff, which will help us get them killed. The slimes are probably the hardest thing for this particular build because they don't do a lot of damage, so they don't take a lot of burns, and then they don't hit often because their attack speed is slow, so they don't take a lot of poisons. So they just kind of sit there, and they can't hurt me, but I can't hurt them. And eventually, I lose to the timer. But with Nyx, that kind of goes away because Nyx attacks really fast and does burns based on their attack. And so you see this one's got 35 burns, this one's got 200, and that's because Nyx is beating on it. And then all this extra shit in the back just gets murdered by attacking and getting poisoned and burned. Because that's where all the DPS comes from, is in the back line. And so they hit one of those shields and just take 1,000 burns and die. And it's pretty freaking hilarious. The one thing, I kind of have a problem with these poisons, but my shields are triggering so fast that I don't think I'm actually going to have a problem with these poison snakes. Normally, they hit really hard and do a lot of damage to me before I get to start shielding, and I just don't think that's going to be a problem here. I might get pretty far on this one. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we at least break 11. I'd like to break my old record, though. Oh, why do I have this not on a person? Am I an idiot? I think I'm an idiot. I could be putting more ice down. And I'm not, because I'm dumb. But yeah, you see Nyx is just rocking and rolling on these burns. And so she's helping me kill these slimes real good. The slimes themselves are killing themselves, which is hilarious. But I haven't even... We're about to trigger the storm here. But the storm is just barely triggering. So I've got plenty of time. We're actually going to go ahead and put this ice item on here, though. So now we're going to hit where we do the stuns quite a bit faster with Nyx. But yeah, I mean, you see just how much these things are hurting themselves in the back here. And they just get annihilated. Honestly, this build is kind of out of control. At least for getting into that mid-range. I don't know how good it's actually going to be for trying to push the #1 spot. But for keeping in that middle range and feeling good about yourself, it's pretty good. The amount of shielding we have is pretty uncontrollable right now. We're kind of kicking everything's ass. This feels pretty great. You know what I need to do? Need to close that. Maybe that'll help. Alright, we're moving into round 8. Yeah. We got some more slimes. Round 11 is slimes, I believe. And that's usually, I think, where I get killed. Round 11 or 12. The slimes seem to be, like, the hardest enemies. I do die at the snakes sometimes. But not usually, especially not with this build. We're definitely going to hit the storm pretty early here. The last time I did this build, my Nyx was gaining maximum HP whenever she crit. So there was a fight where she got up to 30,000 HP, which was hilarious. That actually might have been the one where I got my 15, my record. Backline is killing itself. Nice. And then, ooh, Nyx is about to get killed. Uh-oh. I don't know what was going on there. Some AoE stuff. The next time I fight this fight, Nyx is probably gonna die. Looked like that AoE did a little too much work. But even if Nyx dies there, I might still survive. Just because Scorn, I think, can do that fight on his own. Well, Scorn and Fiona. And I don't think Fiona will ever die. I don't even think she's in the AoE range. So... Nice. I think we're gonna beat number 11 here. No problem. Nyx might end up dead, but I think the shield is gonna keep her alive. Looks like it is. Nice. Alright, so we're done with rank 11 there. That's as far as I've ever gotten with Scorn on his own. So, obviously this is like a better build. I wish that Scorn was a tier S. Actually, I wish that any of my heroes were S tier. I think Nyx is gonna die here. There's some AoE damage and stuff that gets triggered. Yeah, and I just don't have... Oh, Fiona got killed too. Well, that's kind of crazy. Because now I'm not going to be burning. Because Fiona is the one who actually triggers those burns when things attack my shields. So now I have to rely completely on my poisons. Which, I mean, 580 poisons is fine. But it looks like this might be the end of it right here. We don't appear to be doing enough damage. And we appear... So this shield goes away for a brief period of time. Because it like explodes and does damage to the enemy. So I don't always have my shield up. Yeah, that's game right there. Bummer. Only made it to 12. That's a good one, though. That felt good. Unfortunately, every time we try and play something other than RuneScape, which I'm not playing right now because of this whole debacle with the billing. Not that I'm terribly upset that they raised the price. I am a little bit, because I think that shows that they're going to put, you know, the burden of the bad times on their player base, but they're not really going to be sharing in the good times with their player base. And I don't really like that. But the big thing is a lot of people lost like grandfathered rates and existing membership time and stuff like that. And I'm just really not okay with that. So I don't think I'm going to play RuneScape unless they revert some of those grandfather rate things that happened. Because that's just scummy. So I'm not really interested. But this is really messing with my computer, and things are running pretty hot right now trying to stream and play this. I don't know, honestly, at this point, we're running out of games that I can play and stream on my computer. So, I don't know. We might not be back for a little while. I might have to put some work in or something. Tibia is an extremely pay-to-win, like really bad microtransaction game that I am not interested in. I also... Tibia has, like, open world PvP stuff, right? It's got that weird hardcore PvP die get looted garbage. Only on specific worlds? Okay. I'll look into it. A lot of what makes me decide to play games is monetization. Because I think that, you know, private equity and all that stuff has really sort of ruined gaming. And so I try to avoid playing games too much that have those really bad monetizations. So I will look into it. But yeah, I think we're just going to have to stop early today because my computer's kind of freaking out right now. A little bit, but you can join a fresh server that is locked for months or months. Well, so it's not so much about, like, I have the ability to self-regulate and not spend that money. Mostly because I don't have any money, so I couldn't spend it even if I wanted to. But that's not the case for a lot of people out there. And it's all very manipulative, and so I don't ever contribute to those games, but I also don't want to give them my time, because that's one of the metrics that they look at to say, oh, this is obviously working, so let's do more of it, right? So like I said, I mean, I'll look at it. There's levels of monetization that I'm at least willing to not accept, but won't totally turn me off of a game. So we'll see. Yeah, I knew it was a really, really old game. And it's another one of those games that I've never played. So it would be maybe interesting. I will just have to see, what the progression system looks like, what the skill system looks like. All that stuff is important to me. So I will look into it later this evening. I'm also going to look into that Last Flame game. Yeah, I mean, graphics can be shit. That's fine. As long as the game is cool to play and isn't trying, to compete on graphics when its graphics suck, then that's fine. But yeah, we got to find something that my old ass computer can play. Made a new vocation like a year ago, the monk. Fits my playstyle. Okay, cool. Is there any class in that game where I can dual wield shields? Because I'm telling you, any game that lets me dual wield shields, I'm into. 100%. I love shields. Dual wield weapon plus tank magic. I mean, that'll be fun. But shields. I'm so sad. Paladin equals AoE Ranger? That doesn't make any sense. Sorcerer is a huge DPS mage, Druid's a healer. I mean, I'll probably play a knight. The sword and board fantasy is too much for me. I fucking love shields. I don't know why anybody would ever not want to use shields. Like, how do you play a game set in a medieval fantasy world and not think, oh my god, give me a shield? And like, the biggest, baddest shield. Eric Psychic was the only American streamer that ever did well with Tibia. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll look into it. We'll see about it. I mean, I can't very well leave RuneScape over monetization, then go play another game with equally shit monetization. Like, that would kind of defeat the purpose. But if I can find a way to justify it in my brain. I'm just very exhausted with mainstream video gaming right now. It's all just a vehicle for taking your money. All just a vehicle for taking your money. And they just get worse about it every day. Feels like every time I turn around. Oh, somebody new must have gotten up to at least floor 16. Because I dropped a rank. I went down to 37. Somebody got up there. Good job. Good job. But yeah, before my computer explodes here, we're going to go ahead and stop the stream. So thank you to those of you who came and hung out. If this game seems interesting to you at all, the description in the YouTube has the link to the Discord, and you can jump in there and get an alpha key and come play and test on the alpha for free. So, yeah. I hope everybody has a great rest of their day. I will be back tomorrow with something. We will find something to play that doesn't blow up my computer and doesn't clash too severely with my morals. At some point, maybe. So, yeah, I'll see you all on the next one.